Alrighty, welcome, Forgotten Legends of Sound. This is a video that we've been wanting to do for some time. So we wanted to do like a metal CD collection thing. It's always fun to go and watch other people's metal collections and then see like what are the things that they have, or oh, this is missing from their collection. Like you could kind of like learn how someone like got into music and like what they enjoy just by seeing their CD collection, you know. And all of us really have been buying CDs since we were kids, you know, so it's something that we've just enjoyed doing. And so today, and we're going to cut these, it's going to take us a few weeks to go through the entire metal collection. There's just too many. So today we're just going through the A's through the C's. This is a little chunk of those. And just to give you guys a little bit of feedback of like kind of like what we're getting into. When I say metal, I mean things that are even like barely associated with metal. We kind of included those as well. So we have like stuff like thrash, death metal, power metal, prog, whatever, heavy metal. But we also have stuff like glam metal, new metal, even some bands where it's like, yeah, they're a rock band, but they got little moments of metal or, you know, a tiny bit of metal influence. So we put some of those bands in. Also, there's some bands like Porcupine Tree or Anathema where like half of their discography is like not metal, but then like they have like a few releases or, you know, something that makes them connected to the metal world in some way. So we included bands like that. So this is not like a purist metal collection. This
so, you know, that. Keep your comments to yourself.
Or share your comments.
Share.
This is why no one's commenting on our videos. No. So anyways, that's and I guess just a tiny bit of brief history. Like this collection it's mostly mine, but me and my twin brother, we both bought, like we shared everything until we like became adults and moved out, went our separate ways.
They still share everything.
We did. So like we had like the same like CD collection for forever. And then it got to a point where I was kind of like, yeah, I don't really want to share because we were living in different states. Yeah. So then I started rebuying a lot of albums because I kind of wanted my own collection and Kevin his own collection. So then as the years went on, Kevin just, the CDs that he had at his house, he just gave them to me. Mm-hmm. This is like, I think I've purchased most of these, but Kevin's purchased some of these too, because some of these bands Kevin got into and he got me into, you know.
As long as we have the physical form, like I'll still buy CDs down the road of bands that I like, but I'm just going to give it to Ian so he can put it in the collection, you know. And I'll still have the music like on my computer and iPod and stuff like that.
If I ever died or something, then you would just get them all anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
So would I get some?
Like, yeah.
You get a little.
No, these guys have hooked me up with a lot of CDs since they bought doubles, so like they've added a lot to my collection too. So
so anyways, that's kind of, I think I've covered pretty much the basis of what we're gonna do.
We're just gonna show it real quick. We might not have something to say for everything. We're just gonna kind of run through it, and down the road we might talk more about certain bands, certain albums, so on and so forth. But this is kind of an overview of like where we're coming from.
And it's also just fun for you as a viewer because you see us do like album reviews and stuff. It's fun to see like, oh, this is actually what they're kind of more into, you know.
Right.
So that would be interesting. Another thing too is like I do buy CDs way more than I can listen to them. So there are CDs in here that I've never really heard before because I'm the kind of listener that I like digesting a single album before I move on to another album. So like when a band's got 12 albums, sometimes I'm like, I've really only digested like a couple albums and I haven't gotten to those other albums
yet. It takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. So, you know, there's some albums that are like that, and there's some that I'm just like I could talk forever about, but we're not gonna do that, you know.
Yeah.
So without further ado, this is Forgotten Legends of Sound metal collection, and at the very end of the video, Chad's gonna show off his CDs, his A through C metal albums as well. So
exactly.
Should we get started?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Cool. Well, the first CD, this is Abbott. This is like his first album that he released. This is like 2016 or so. If you like Immortal, then you're going to like this. I think it's a pretty good album. That's kind of the first one to start off with Abbott. And then we also got Abbott's second album, Outstrider. I actually haven't really listened to that one, but I assume it's probably fairly good. That's Abbott Outstrider. And then we got Abydos. This is, actually, do you mind if I show off this one real quick?
Yeah.
Some of these I kind of want to show off, so this is like a Japanese version of it. It's got like the, what is that called again? I can't remember.
Insert.
Insert.
Yeah,
that's the
insert. That's anyways. It's got that thing, so it's kind of cool. It's a Japanese album.
This is the side project for like Van and Plaws, just a single album, but yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
Andy Kuntz.
Andy Kuntz, yeah.
It'll come to me. I'll remember what those have a specific name, but yeah. Then we got Accept with Restless and Wild. So I just wanted to show it off. This is like one of the 80s kind of.
Real quick, you know.
Original.
Ian and I, we were always like, oh, we got to find the original, or we got to find this, or close to the original. Like,
Yeah.
and you know, when we would listen to like Megadeth, we were like, no remastered. When we listened to Rust in Peace, and then it'd be like, you know, Bomb Shelter. And I was like, no, we gotta get the original.
Not doing that. Yeah. So like, it's also aesthetic thing. I just like getting early presses of albums, and here's Accept, Balls to the Wall. I just like early presses. I think they just look really cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right.
there's something about the silver. Maybe it's because I don't know. Like, there's something in my brain, even from a little kid, that I just love the way that the original old school ones. And I'm not saying everything here is like first press or whatever.
Right.
But it's an early enough edition, you know. Yeah. And I just think they look cool. I actually haven't really. I know the title track, but I haven't listened to that one that much, so I don't really know how that one is. And then we got a band that Chad got me into. This is Acid Bath. This is like on Rotten Records, the original OGs. Yeah, kind of cool. Actually, I think I might like that one more than the second album, but pretty cool, kind of sludge metal stuff. And then we also got Acid Bath's second album, Pagan Terrorism Tactics. So
check out the rest of our channel, because we did cover this album in depth. So if you want to hear in-depth analysis and review, check this one out.
Check it out, yeah. And then we got Adagio with Sanctus Ignis. Kevin
Adagio.
Is the one that got into them. Because he's the Symphony X guy. So.
Richard Anderson, and I like Adagio. Not much to add, but
that album actually is really good. That one and the second album I think are fantastic. Like they're if you like Symphony X, you'll like Adagio because it's very neoclassical kind of metal kind of stuff. So, anyways, this is also another Japanese version. Kind of cool. It's like the Avalon press for Japan. This is Adagio's second album with Underworld. Pretty good stuff, very piano heavy, very neoclassically. And here's Adagio's third album. This is Dominate.
Pretty good. And vocalist Gus Monsanto, he's the guy who sung on Human Fortress's fourth album. So
he's the one that sings in
He's the guy who, kind of been around a bit. So anyways, this is still a great album though.
Yeah, and then we got good old Agalloch. This is their first album, Pale Folklore. I like this album. It didn't like blow me away or anything, but I really like it. I think it's a great album. Agalloch is one of those bands that I think people generally esteem them in high regard. You know, very moody, kind of black metal. Folk,
this was that mid to late 2000s phase when you and I were trying to get more into Avante-Garde, trying to get more into this and that.
Around like 2006 or 7, I feel like is when we really like. The couple years prior, we were really in power metal, prog, and melodic death metal, and then those like following years, we were like
when did Unexpect start?
Around the same time, 2006, 2007. Like that album was pretty new.
Was new, and we were like, "Whoa, this is out there." You got into it before I did, but it was pretty cool.
Sleeping
stuff.
Time Gorilla Museum, all that stuff,
all that crap. So this is also the original. This is their Agalloch's EP of Wind, Stone, and Pillar. Wait, of Stone, Wind, and Pillar. Same difference. And I'm probably gonna like mispronounce stuff or whatever. It did come in with like a purple case or whatever, but it was all busted up when it came in. I know the original had the purple case, so I got a new case for it. But that one's actually a little bit harder to find. But it's a great EP. Like it's got some good songs on it. I like the cover of Neil Lacrosse too. At least I think that's the cover. I'm pretty sure. And this is the first album I ever got into for Agalloch. This is The Mantle. This is a great freaking album. I don't know. I think it's always going to be my favorite. There's a feeling with that album that I just really like. It's really desolate. It's melancholic. It's kind of engaging, just a very, I don't know. It's not an album you throw on at parties, It's not. It's the album you listen to at 2 a.m. and you're laying in bed and it's all dark and you're just kind of like absorbing it, This is the Gray EP from Agalloch. I think this might be a little bit harder to find, but I think it might have been reissued, so maybe it's not as hard to find anymore. And
Right.
it's got the, OBI. That's what it's called, the Japanese OBI. It's a little OBI.
What
Got a little OBI.
stand for?
Yeah.
Or is it like
I'm
an
not
acronym?
sure.
Or?
I'm not really sure. It's
word.
just an OBI.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just what it's. Yeah,
We'll
the
Google
Japanese.
it
Oh
later.
yeah, can you close that also before you take it, bro? It's I didn't close it all the way, so go ahead and
okay.
take it, and yeah. And then we also got Agalok with Ashes Against the Grain, and this is another. Yeah, I accidentally didn't close it, so
It's all good.
yeah, this is Ashes Against the Grain. This is another great album, probably my second favorite from them. Just good stuff, good old Agalok. I think most people probably.
The End Records.
The End Records, yeah, like all of these practically are like from the End Records.
Yeah.
This is the white EP from Agalok. I think this one was harder to find when I got it, but I don't know if it is anymore. I think this has been repressed as well, and it's got the little OBI right there as well, like kind of cool. Yeah, I like that EP a lot too. It's more acoustic, but it's really pretty. And then we also got The Demonstration. This was like a compilation thing of like their first, I think, EP or something like that. And like maybe like some demos and stuff that they recorded before their first album. So that's kind of what this is. I actually haven't gone through that one yet, so I don't know like if it's quality-wise, I don't know if it's really good or not. But kind of interesting, kind of cool. And then we got Mirror of the Spirit for Agalok. This is a pretty. I haven't delved into this as much as the first three albums, but I think it's like pretty good. I've never even heard their last album. This album, for some reason, I think this album's also a little bit harder to find. It's on Profound Lore Records. I think a lot of Profound Lore Records stuff is usually hard to find for some reason. I think some of the early Alcest stuff was on Profound Lore as well. Some Neofolk crap is on there.
Right.
This is the Faustian Echoes EP. It's got a little OBI thing as well, kind of cool. I haven't heard this EP yet. I know it's one song that's like 20 minutes or something like that, but kind of cool. And then we got The Serpent and the Sphere. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Serpent and the Sphere. Haven't heard this album before, but one of these days I do need to jump into this, Just, it's hard to, there's so many, like, I listen to so many non-metal stuff also, that it's just hard to listen to all of this metal here. Like one day,
and like you said, so a lot of bands too. It's like you have to absorb everything, and it's like it takes time.
It takes a long time, especially if an album's like really challenging or something. Then it's like after like 10 listens, now I'm kind of getting it, and it just feels like I don't know. There's some albums that are kind of like that for me. Here's Agathodamon, Black and the Angel. This is their debut album. Haven't really heard it, so can't really speak much about it. Agathodamon is kind of, here's the second album. This is Higher Art of Rebellion. They're kind of a, to me, I feel like they're a black metal band that's still catchy and whatnot. It still has some keyboardy stuff. Like, they seem to be like one of those black metal bands that, I don't know, like, I think some purists maybe don't like because they're like too melodic or something. But anyways, here's their third album, Third. So here's Agathodamon again.
It's just, hey, what should we call it?
Yeah, Third.
Like third album? Nah, just Third.
No, sorry, it's chapter 3.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, I thought it was called Third. I don't know why.
No, that's on Darkane Insanity.
Yeah, you're right. On track 2, it's called Third. Then we got the Daemon, Serpent's Embrace. I think this is a fantastic album. I think it's really catchy. It's pretty cool. This is one of those bands where I saw their first 4 albums for really cheap, and I really loved this album, so I just picked them all up. I was like, eventually I'll get to some of the others, and And then we got Agent Fresco. I feel like they got little bits of elements of metal, maybe in their like first album more so. So we included them anyways, even though maybe some person just like they're eating, they're like, that's not metal, they're like freaking out. It's like as soon as Agent Fresco came out, they're like liars,
Well, they do have guttural vocals on that. It's a minute and a half.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
That's Light Bulb Universe. It's like an EP that came out in 2008, so kind of cool, I think there's only one song on that's not on the first album, so it's not like it's more of a collector's item rather than and then we got Long Time Listening from Agent Fresco. This is their first album. I really like this album. I think it's a great album. It's really different from their second album, but it's a great album. And then we got the third album, Destrier, and Chad picked this just recently to review it. So that was fun to go through that album. So I don't think I really have to say much about that album, to be honest.
Check out our other videos, if you're interested.
Yeah, and then we got Atlas with The Dreaming Eye. This album, the artwork is really cool. This is like atmospheric black metal stuff. And what's funny is, dude, when I first heard this, when it came out, I think it was like 2016 when I first heard it. I was just so dogging on it. I was like, this is garbage. You know, I wrote a review. I deleted the review because I was just like, I started coming around to black metal, you know, so I was kind of like, it's kind of cool. But it's just so funny because my first impression of that album, I was just kind of like, I did not like it. I was like, I don't know about that. And this is their second album, Melano. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. Kind of cool little art though. Like the covers are like very nightmarish looking and stuff. But yeah, more atmospheric black metal. I like that album. I think maybe more than the first one. But this is kind of a rarer CD. This is Alcest with Less Secret. I think this came out in 2005. Yeah. So it was just the EP that they released. Nij did like the screaming vocals and stuff on that, you know. So don't let that cover fool you. It's still metal, you know. Like, but anyways, kind of a rarer EP. I don't know how rare, but you know, not very easy to find, I don't think. And I remember when I first got into this one, this is Souvenirs d'un Autre Monde. This is the album that got me into Alcest. Right. It was new in 2007. I hadn't heard anything like it before. And I was just I remember I talked to the CD guys and asked them to order it. It took like a month to like arrive for them to order it and for it to arrive for me. But yeah, I love that album. It's fantastic stuff.
This was also, I feel like around the time we were getting into like Falkenbach and all that stuff, just really jumping into some of the folk and some of the
all that stuff. Yeah. This is their second album. This is Éclair de Lune or whatever. I don't know. I don't speak French. I don't know.
Sounded good to me.
Yeah. But like the artwork for this is just really cool. Like I think it's a really beautiful looking album as far as like the artwork and stuff goes. So kind of cool. Yeah, and that album also is pretty good. I like that one. And here's Les Secret again. This was like an EP that they released because the first EP was like so hard to find. So they put the first EP and then they recorded the 2 songs again for this. So it's got like, you know, recorded tracks or whatever for it. So I've got that kind of twice sort of, but you know, kind of interesting. And then we got Les Voyages de l'Âme or whatever. This is their third album. Yeah, that one's pretty good. I'm not as familiar with that album, but I remember going through it and thinking, this is pretty good stuff, you know.
We'll have to pick up the pace because we're taking about 5 to 10 minutes per stack. And there's like 20 or stacks there, so we might have to pick up the pace.
Here's Alcest, Shelter. That's a great album. I like that one. And then we also got Alcest with Kodama or whatever. This one, I think the artwork does look pretty cool, you know. Yeah, it's a pretty cool artwork album. And then we also got their latest album, Spiritual Instinct. Really pretty artwork as well for that one. And then we got a band that Kevin got into, Ailstorm. I don't think I've ever really listened to this much, Captain Morgan's Revenge. But it's, you know, power metal stuff, I guess.
Probably not as good as Swashbuckle, but...
Yeah. Then we got Ailstorm with Leviathan EP. And then we got Alice in Chains with Facelift. This is a band that's like got a little bit of metal in them, also grunge kind of, you know. Then we got Alice in Chains with Dirt. This is probably my favorite album from them. I like that one. And then we got Alice in Chains with the Sap EP. And this is probably my favorite release from them. This is the Jar of Flies EP. I think this is just great stuff all the way through. If I was introducing someone to Alice in Chains, I'd probably give them that EP. I think it's great. This one's good too. This is Alice in Chains self-titled album, the last one with Lane Staley. Yeah, good stuff. And then we have Alice in Chains Greatest Hits. At the time, like me and Kevin, a lot of bands, we started off with Greatest Hits, and then we started branching out to their albums, you know, if we really enjoyed them and stuff. Here's a super unknown band, Allegro. This is like a South American, probably Brazilian power metal
from Brazil.
Band. Yeah. So just the self-titled Allegro album. So kind of cool, something a little different. Then we got Russell Allen and Jordan Land with The Battle. That's one that you picked up.
I did, yeah. Sound Exchange. I think it was used.
Yeah, I've never heard that album, so I don't really know.
It's pretty good. It's a bit AOR,
well, we got
kind of rock and metal.
So.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
Yeah. No, I'm messing.
Yeah, you're good, man.
And then we got Alma, their first album. Alma's kind of like a side project of the Angra singer. And they got the Casey Grillo on drums too, which is kind of cool. Yeah. And then Alma's second album, Fragile Equilibrium. So that's kind of cool.
Bit of like super group almost.
Yeah, super group. So now we got Emma Sepher. This is a band that Kevin got into.
Kind of recently, like only like 3 years ago. It's a pretty solid album, but Yeah.
It's got Matt's Levin on vocals.
Yeah.
And then we got Emma Sewers with their first EP, Ruins Humanes. That's a great EP. It's only 3 songs, but it's fudging awesome. And then we got Emma Sewers with their first album, which I think is fantastic stuff. Blend of black metal with like some post-punk stuff. Then we got Amon Amarth with The Crusher. I'm not the hugest Amon Amarth, but I saw some of these for so cheap that I was kind of like,
Why not?
Why not? You know. But
I have been wanting to check them out a little bit more. I just haven't.
Yeah. The only album I've really listened to is With Odin on Our Side, and it's pretty good. Like it's here's Fate of Norns from Amon Amarth. But yeah, they were just one of those bands that everyone would talk about, and I was just like, they're good, but like I don't know. But there's other things that I like a lot more, I guess, But still kind of cool and cool art and stuff. Here's Amon Amarth with Twilight of the Thunder God. So kind of cool.
This is the one Jeff was freaking listening to at work constantly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the older dude I used to work with.
And here's Amorphous with the Corellian Isthmus. And I believe this is the first press, the American press on Relapse Records. That's kind of cool.
You guys do have some Relapse freaking...
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the art of grind, And then we got Amorphous EP with Privilege of Evil. This was just an EP, and it was signed too. But like the person I bought it from, it was cheaper than buying it not signed. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just buy it from this guy. And we got Amorphous Tales from the Thousand Lakes. This is an amazing album.
It's just the only one I'm familiar with.
Oh yeah, that album, when it comes to '90s influential melodic death metal, that one's like in the top 5 or 10 album. That's a great album. And then we got Black Winter Day. This is like an EP that they released, I think, a year after that album or something. Good stuff, mostly acoustic stuff with the song Black Winter Day. And then we got Amorphous with Elegy. I haven't listened to that album as much. And then we got Amorphous with My Cantelli. This is like an EP that was released after that one. And then we got Amorphous with Tuonela.
We got a lot of Amorphous stuff.
A lot of Amorphous, yeah. And then we got Amorphous with Am Universum. And I like that album a lot. That one's one of my favorite Amorphous albums, actually. It's really different, going into it from like their newer stuff or their old stuff. It's different, but I think it's fantastic. Amorphous, we got Far From the Sun. And we've got Amorphous with Eclipse. This is the first one with Tommy Yotzen on
Amorphous
vocals.
is a strange band because it's like they got some hard rock, they got some like melodic death metal, but then they got some symphonic elements with some newer like.
They've really done a lot of different things with their sound. Yeah, we got Amorphous with Silent Waters. I can't remember. Is Silent Waters the first one we ever heard?
Actually,
or
I've heard that one too. Actually.
Yeah, that's the one I first got into.
I think that one and Am Universum and Tales from a Thousand Lakes. For some reason, I think those were the three that we first got into. Because I think they had them at Sound Exchange or something. So that was just the ones that we picked up. But anyways, and then we got Amorphous with Skyforger. Got Dark Tranquility.
Chaos and Eternal Night.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah, Skyforger. And that's a good album too. And then we got Amorphous with The Beginning of Times. And we got Amorphous with Circle. Kind of cool. Man, my voice. And then we got Amorphous with Under the Red Cloud. I actually really like this album. The album's, I think that's I think that's one of the kind of their better albums.
This is one that I want to get more into. It just hasn't clicked for me. So it's like I've listened to it a few times and I'm just like, maybe one day.
Maybe one day, yeah. And this is Queen of Time for Amorphous. When this album came out, man, I was like, dude, this is awesome. Like, I think that's still one of their better records. Like,
yeah, this is my favorite.
That's an awesome record. I like that album. And then we got Amorphous with Halo. I hope I'm not going too fast for you guys if you guys want to chime in.
You're good.
Okay. And then we got Anal Nathrak with the Codex Necro. So some brutal, crazy music. And then we got Anal Nathrak. This is, what is it? Domine Non Dignus. Yeah, another Latin sounding kind of name or whatever. And then we got Anal Nathrak with Iscaton. Yeah, means something.
I'm about to check some of these out.
Yeah, and then we got Anal Nathrak with Hell is Empty and All the Devils Are Here. That one I remember being like pretty good.
Is that the one with the gun samples on it?
No. That's a later one. That's kind of funny. This one I've gone through a good bit. This is In the Constellation of the Black Widow, and this is the original one on Candlelight Records. For some reason, this one and the next two were only on Candlelight, and for some reason they're harder to find. I'm not really sure why. It's like their early albums and then their later albums on Metal Blade are way easier to find, but those middle three, for some reason, it's hard to find.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And then we got Anal Nathrak with Passion. Yeah, I've only gone through this once, but it's got the Nother Tongues dude doing sound stuff on it, so kind of an interesting album. Anal Nathrak with Vanitas. That one's also that one and the other one are Candlelight ones. And then we got Anal Nathrak with Desideratum. I don't know how to pronounce some of these things sometimes. Desideratum. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, Desideratum. Yeah.
That sounds better.
The more we keep saying it, the more we're going to sound like we know what we're talking about. That was actually my first...
I just say it a lot.
Yeah, that album was my first exposure to Anal Nathrak. So, yeah, yeah. And then we got Anal Nathrak with The Whole of the Law. So, famous painting they got there.
Alistair Crowley Crab.
Yeah, and this is the Anal Nathrak with A New Kind of Horror. This is the album with the gunshot song or whatever.
Okay.
And then this is Anal Nathrak with Endarkenment. This is actually my favorite album from them. We did a video for that one, so check that out.
Check it out.
Yeah, and so these next ones, this is Anacrusis with Suffering Hour. I think this is some kind of early press, but I don't think it's a first press or anything like that. I think it's an early 90s repress of some kind. So Suffering Hour with Anacrusis. Same thing with Reason. I think this is like some kind of repress or something. But anyways, I don't know. Here's Anacrusis with Reason. Those first two I'm not that familiar with, but their third and fourth albums I really like. Here's Manic Impressions. Yeah, this is a really good album. Yeah, there's that song, I Love the World. I don't know why I think that song is so freaking awesome. And then we got Anacrusis with Screams and Whispers. And this is my favorite album from them, Metal Blade Records. This is just a great, like, if you like stuff like Voivod or something, like kind of thrash that's more experimental, then you'll dig these guys. And this is kind of cool. This is Anathema's, got loose. This is Anathema's first EP, The Crestfallen. And this is, it's kind of cool because this is like the original, legit, old school looking one or whatever. This isn't like the reissue or anything. So kind of cool. And that song, Everwake, is so fudging beautiful. Like, that is really beautiful. I think it came out in 92. Same thing with this one. Here's Serenades. This is like the original OG looking one, kind of cool. Here you go, Chad. And then same thing.
We like Anathema, like all three of us. It's something that we can all like just be like,
Yeah, here's the Pentecost 3 EP. Yeah, kind of cool. Anathema's, they're one of those bands that I don't care as much for their doomy early stuff, but I love this band. Like, they're still really good. And then we got the Silent Enigma from Anathema. And I think I have all the American pressings from all of these. Like, in the 90s, they're on Fierce Records. And we got Anathema Eternity. This is a fantastic album. I love that album. It's got a spacey vibe to it, but it's awesome. It still has that Anathema sound. And we got Anathema with Alternative 4. Fantastic album. Basically, here on out, everything about Anathema is fudging amazing, And then we got Anathema with Judgment. I feel like this is like probably their first masterpiece to me, It's, just an amazing freaking album. And this is a masterpiece too. This is Fine Day to Exit. Great freaking album.
I never noticed on the back.
Awesome.
You sow, as shall you weep.
Yeah. And then we got Natural Disaster. This was my first exposure into Anathema, and I remember picking this up at Sound Exchange, and man, this album like blew my mind because never really. Oh,
I was just saying that was the first one you showed me.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, sick.
Yeah, that one's probably my favorite record from them. I think it's freaking amazing. And then we got Anathema with Hindsight. This was like kind of a more acoustic version of their older songs. And it's a great album, Then we got Anathema, We're Here Because We're Here. Another favorite. This is probably my second favorite album from them. And then same thing. This is just a different edition. This is the K-Scope. I think that one's the End Records. So Anathema, We're Here Because We're Here. Beautiful fudging masterpiece album. I love it. And then we got Anathema Falling Deeper. This is a beautiful album too. Another kind of re-recording older songs type album. And then we've got Anathema with Weather Systems. And here's 2 copies of Weather Systems as well. K-Scope, the one on K-Scope, which I guess is like English, and then the End Records, which was the American release, I think. And then we got...
I'm sorry to interrupt you, man. And we can pause here for a bit, but dude, like, if we're going too fast, we could just cut this out and everything and maybe just do only A's or something. That way we can... Are you feeling like you're able to talk about what you want to talk about?
I think it's good. We don't have to go super deep.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, because I'm like, dude, Chad needs to be done in like 30 to 40 minutes.
It's 1:40.
Right, But it's like...
Dang, it's 1:40 already? Didn't we start at 1?
Like 110.
It's a half hour.
Oh,
We've been
yeah.
doing this for half an hour.
Already?
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it's kind of like I don't want you to feel rushed.
No, it's
and
fine. I'm
so
cool with just rushing through it.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
fine with me.
All right. So, and we can edit this out. I'm sorry to interject, but
Yeah, that's fine. And then Anathema, Distant Satellites, great album. And then we got Anathema, The Optimist, great album. And then Andromeda with Extension of the Wish, another great album. I like that one. The guitarist for that is in Dark Tranquility now, kind of cool. Johan Reinholds. Then we got
that guy was also in Opus Atlantica.
Yeah,
he's also a wandering musician.
He's also played for Skyfire a little bit too.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of been everywhere.
Everything's connected, man. The little metal community.
Yeah, metal
everyone knows
community.
everybody.
Yeah, and then 2 equals 1. Then we got Andromeda with Chimera. So now we got some rarer albums. This is the Angelic Process, their EP, And Your Blood is Full of Honey. This is something that I think people would kind of want to see because it's like the band themselves like made these. That's why they're all like low. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's
sure,
like
yeah.
you know
DIY.
Yeah. Then we got the Alan Jug.
DIY.
Do it yourself.
Yeah, do it yourself. DIY.
Yeah, and then we got the
DIY.
this is Coma Wearing. This is their kind of like first album. Came out in 2003. That's the 2006 issue of it. The first issue of that is like impossible to find. And then we got the Angelic Process with Psy. This is their 2006 EP. This is kind of cool stuff. This album is very much drone, but also kind of shoegaze metal kind of stuff. And this is probably their best album. This is Weighing Souls with Sand, Angelic Process. That one I think was a little bit hard to find too. I can't remember though. Then we got Angra with Angel's Cry. This is a great album. Good old power metal from Brazil. Then we got Angra with Holy Land, right there. And we got Angra with Fireworks. And we got Angra with Rebirth. And we also have an EP, Angra with Hunters and Prey. Angra, I think, is a band that Kevin, I think, got into first.
I'm pretty sure like Angel's Cry was the first album we got.
Yeah.
So that's like our first, jump into them. But I really got into Temple of Shadows.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite because the drumming, like there's some power metal albums that the drumming is just magnificent. I don't like when a power metal band is like, just do double bass, guys. We're a power metal band. Do double bass. But Achilles Priester really changes things up with the drumming on this album. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, so. I think Temple of Shadows is probably my favorite as well. I think it's really good. Not because of drumming, but And then we got Aurora Consurgens from Angra. I remember being really disappointed with that one when it came out.
Yeah.
I think Temple of Shadows had the expectations too high or something.
Yeah.
Got Angra with Aqua. And then we got Anthrax with Spreading the Disease. And then Anthrax with Among the Living. So
nothing to say on Anthrax, huh?
Yeah, not much. I've heard them a little bit.
Like,
but
I think they're pretty good, but they're definitely not like super up there.
The cover is really like iconic. It's like
Then we got Apatia with Euphoria. Haven't heard that one. I've heard the second album more. I can't even pronounce this one. It's like Morgan den install de bis pa interesse. Yeah. So that's Apatia. Kind of similar to Emma Sewers a little bit, where it's depressing kind of metal. It's all in another language. Somebody bought this for us, I think. Apocalyptica.
Yeah, Jake got it for us, I think.
Oh, did he?
I think he did, yeah.
I remember never really loving it. I was
the whole cello doing Metallica and stuff, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, and this is kind of cool.
Poor Apocalyptica.
Poor Apocalyptica. They might be pretty cool. I just haven't really checked them out. This is Black Earth from Arch Enemy. This is like the original one. And this is the Japanese version. It has like the Losing Faith bonus song.
Johan Leva.
Johan Leva. And then also I have two Stigmatas. One of them is the Japanese version of Stigmata, so it has like the bonus tracks on there. Stigmata. And then here's like the original on Central Media, the regular Stigmata.
Did they have different? Did they have like a different CD, or is it the same?
I think they're slightly different, like the art and stuff, but
we just say how awesome Beast of Man is.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And this is my favorite Arch Enemy album because, like, dude, what can I say? I like Peter Wilder. You know, I think he did a fantastic job on this album.
Yeah, and then we got Burning Bridges. That's my favorite album from them. I love Burning Bridges.
Just hey, Chad, what's your favorite?
Stigmata.
Really?
I still like them both.
Yeah. Burning Bridges is excellent.
Yeah, Burning Bridges is awesome. And then this is awesome too. I like Wages of Sin a lot.
Yeah,
That one's It's got the little bonus CD too, which was really cool to hear.
I think I first heard like one of the songs in like a freaking BMX game or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is when they got like big.
Yeah. I feel, they got bigger and bigger.
Singer,
Yeah.
Angela.
Yeah, here's Anthems of Rebellion. Pretty good. Nothing super special. I kind of like their first 4 albums more, but their later albums, they're still kind of enjoyable, but they're just not as good.
Not our
Doomsday Machine, and then we got Arch Enemy with Rise of the Tyrant, and then we've got Chaos Legions with Arch Enemy, and I kind of just stopped. I don't really care that they got the new singer chick, the second singer. I just haven't really gotten
from the Agonist or whatever. I forget. But
here's Arcturus's first album. This is Symphonia Aspera. What is it called? Aspera Hymn Symphonica. Kind of a cool album. It's a kind of experimental kind of black metal stuff. And this is the first press of La Masquerade Infernale. This is kind of cool because it's got like a hidden track in front of the first song. So you can't hear that digitally. You can't hear it on reissues of this album. It's only on the original release. And on the side, on the side, it says... it's like hidden. It says secret audio information can be found if sought. It's like just like hidden there or whatever. So they gave you a clue that they have that. So kind of cool, Yeah. And then we got Arcturus with Disguised Masters, kind of just remix album. And then Arcturus's freaking masterpiece, The Sham-Mirrors.
And is that going to be hard to find?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think it is. Sham-Mirrors is just such a freaking amazing album.
Well, it's not going to be hard to find in Ian's collection.
Then we got Arcturus with Sideshow Symphonies. This is when Vortex became their lead singer after Garm. And then we got Arcturus with Arcturian. I actually really like that album. I think that one's an awesome return to form, so to speak, because,
It was a weird one for me.
Yeah.
Like, this one was weird.
It's great, but... And then, it's an awesome album. So then I also got this Stars in Oblivion. This is for Arcturus. It kind of has, like, all their early EP, Constellation, their first single, all of this stuff on here. I don't know if we could put this.
We can have Chad hold it.
I'll hold it.
Yeah.
Might have to hold it back.
I kind of want to just show, like, maybe just one of the... That's what the CDs look like.
Oh, you reading to us?
Yeah, so here's the story time, and it has like a lot of pictures and a lot of just information and a cool biography of the band. Actually, do you remember that podcast, that one guy where they did Devil Doll?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. Those two guys.
Yeah.
One was like Hunter Ginn, and the other guy was something else. One of the guys I think wrote like the interview or something in this collection. Some
kind of liner notes.
Yeah, liner notes of this album. Cool. So it's like kind of cool, anyways. Can't remember the name of that podcast, but you guys should check that out. It's really good. So kind of a cool collector kind of thing. And then we got Arena. Cool we got Arena with The Visitor. Here's some like prog rock with some prog metal. Then we got Arena with Immortal. And then we've got Arsis with A Celebration of Guilt. That's a pretty good melodic death metal, a little bit of technical death metal stuff. I like their EP probably the most. This is a Diamond for Disease from Arsis. Kind of cool. I wonder how much time we got because it's 1:49 right now. Maybe I can rush through. I don't know. And then we got Our Tension with Into the Eye of the Storm. Kevin's band for sure.
Yeah, I like Our Tension. I know they're not for everybody and everything,
But you like them.
But I like them.
Our Tension with Phoenix Rising, and we got Our Tension with Forces of Nature.
I thought it was so cool that Shane Gallus, that drummer. I was watching a Bees video. And Shane Gallus played with Bees, like the Japanese band, for a bit, and you could see him playing. He's like the blonde-haired, like white guy in the Japanese band,
That's pretty cool.
And I was like, man, how did the Our Tension guy that no one really cares about, like, I don't hear anyone talk about Vital Age Cooperage, I don't hear anyone talk about Our Tension.
Yeah.
How did this guy just, like, start playing for Bees, It just, I don't know, it might be more of a Japanese kind of,
Yeah. Here's Astral Doors with Astralism. If you like Dio, you'll probably like this stuff.
Yeah.
And then we got Astral Doors with New Revelation. And then we've got At the Gates with Gardens of Grief. This is like an early EP of theirs. I think it came out in 91. But, I don't know, kind of cool. And then we've got At the Gates with The Red in the Sky Is Ours. At the Gates was a band where, like, I bought their albums, but then I was like, I kind of like them enough to get, like, the original albums. So then I shoveled more money to buy the original albums just because of the aesthetic. Like, I was like, oh, it looks so cool. Right. And here's With Fear I Kiss the Burning Darkness. And this is, like, the OG, you know, old school one or whatever.
Okay, Ian, don't brag so
it's
much.
like,
Nah,
and then we got at the
Yeah,
gate.
flexing a little bit there too much.
You know,
Got some big CD collection energy going on here.
We're still in the A's.
Then we got then we got At the Gates with Terminal Spirit Disease. It's the original. No, that's a great album. It's too bad the record company like forced them to, you know, add on those live tracks and stuff. Like it would have made a great EP, you know. And then Slaughter of the Soul, probably my favorite album from them. Just a classic. Really cool stuff. Hey Chad, do you think we're gonna get through all of this? Because
I gotta start getting ready at 2:15, guys.
okay, maybe we should just do the
just
A's.
do A's.
Yeah, and then tomorrow we can do B's.
Yeah.
B and C.
And just
It's okay to have like we can have a video that's only like 15 minutes long. That's totally fine.
Well,
you know?
and I could also just connect them all together and do one giant video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like after each other.
Connect them, yeah. Dude, it'd be like freaking 12 hours long.
Dude, it'd be long.
long.
Yeah, it'd be epic though. Then we got At the Gates with At War with Reality. This is whenever they like reformed and got back together and everything. Then we got At the Gates to Drink from the Night Itself. I remember actually enjoying that album. I need to return to it. That album and the next one, The Nightmare of Being, I think are pretty good. So yeah, that's like newer At the Gates. And then we got Atheist. This was like a collection of like all their albums from Season of Mist. So this has just like all 4 of their albums on there.
That's
So
actually pretty cool.
yeah, kind of cool. I don't know if should you want to open it and
Yeah.
show them kind of what it, anyways, but it was like $20. So I was kind of like, dude, man, just get all their stuff. Like that's,
Right.
you know, that's just kind of
Especially
cool.
like $20, man.
Yeah. I thought it was a great deal just to get all their work, you know. Granted, I've only heard the first 2 albums. I haven't really listened to Jupiter and, you know, like Elements and stuff.
Yeah,
But
the first 2 are
cool.
kind of the best. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, anyways, kind of cool stuff, you know, cool collection there. And then we got Atoma with Skylight. Yeah, this is a cool album, kind of post-metal or whatever, kind of a little bit electronic. I don't know. And then we got Aldridge with Mint Rice EP. This one, only 300 copies were made, and it says so on the back.
Yeah. So you
know. And then we got Aldridge. Gosh, this is, which one is this? Consanguinous Tales of Bloodshed and Treachery. And the other one
It's
is...
a mouthful.
the other one's like Consanguinous Hymns of Faith and Famine. Yep. So that's the other album. All of those, there's only 300 copies made.
Dang.
You know, it's kind of cool. I don't know if they're going to be rare or anything, but, you know, kind of cool. Then we got Autograph with Sign In Please. Definitely a Kevin purchase there.
Yeah.
You know,
Long
I'm just
time
looking
ago.
at the guys on the back. So
Yeah.
I'm like, turn up the radio. And then I haven't listened to this really.
Yeah. And then we got Avantasia, the metal opera. Brilliant masterpiece of Tobias. And then we got Avantasia, the metal opera too.
I remember like when we
not
picked
as
these
brilliant,
up.
but
Yeah,
still
when we
amazing.
picked these up, we were like blown away. You
Yeah.
know, it was like the early 2000s, and we were just
Yeah,
like,
we were just
oh
like,
man,
dude.
reach out for the light and stuff. We
Yeah.
were like, oh dude, and
Yeah.
that track 6,
Farewell.
Farewell
Yeah.
was just really got stuck in our heads.
It's an earworm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they came out with this album. We were really disappointed.
Yeah.
The Scarecrow. And then I haven't really gotten into newer Avantasia that much. But here's some newer albums of theirs. Here's Angel of Babylon. And then here's The Wicked Symphony. I've heard them a little bit, but not all that much. And then we also got The Mystery of Time. So kind of cool. All right, what do we got over here? Then we got Avatarium. This is the self-titled album. This is kind of like doom metal stuff, you know, with a female singer. Kind of cool. And then this is the first album I ever heard by them, Avantarium, with the girl with the raven mask. Kind of cool. I'm not the hugest doom metal person, but I like a little bit of it, you know. And then we got Axe with Nemesis. So
I like Axe.
Kevin,
Another
that's a
Kevin band.
Yep. This is probably a Kevin band too. Here's an
Yeah.
Axe band. Yeah, that album, Lord of the Realm, is kind of a collection of like the early recordings and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's actually a lot better. Like, I remember hearing it in high school being like this garbage.
Yeah.
And then I heard it like a year or two ago and I was like, this is actually kind of cool. You know, it's basically He-Man,
There's
heavy metal stuff.
There's so much like heavy metal and stuff that is like just like no one cares about kind of thing anymore, you know.
Yeah.
And it's kind of too bad But
because some of
I
it
guess
is really cool.
some of it, maybe it's a little oversaturation or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it just you know,
People only be listening to Iron Maiden, and that's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's Accent Star with Perpetual Twilight. Accent Star is a band where I feel like they'll sometimes have good songs, but then they'll have some boring songs. I don't know.
right.
Accent Star with Far From Heaven. That one's got some good tracks. That one might be my favorite from them. I don't know. And then we got Accent Star with The Inquisition. More kind of power metal stuff, you know. And then we got Arion with The Final Experiment. And I got the original ones, you know, like they look cool, you know, like the art and stuff, like it looks more like old school. Anyways, that's the first album, came out in 95. And then same thing with Actual Fantasy. This is like the OG or something, old school looking one. Kind of cool. And then we got Arion with Into the Electric Castle. I think this is the first press in America. I don't think it was released in 88. I think it was released in like 2000 or something. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. It could be like kind of a reissue. I know it's not an OG though, you know. And then we got Arion with The Dream Sequencer. I actually really like Into the Electric Castle. That's a cool album.
Yeah.
And then we got Arion with Flight of the Navigator? Migrator. Not Flight of the Navigator. That's a movie. Flight of the yeah. Yeah, Flight of the Migrator. Migrator. Yeah, and then we got Arion with The Human Equation. This was like our first foray into Arion.
Yeah, this is the one that we really got into.
When that came out, it was so freaking awesome. Like all the different vocalists on it, the story. It had amazing songs. Like we were blown away.
I love that. Like Eric Clayton's on here. Mike Baker is on here.
Townsend.
You know, Devin Townsend.
Yeah.
Like I really love the lineup here. And also, this is the version with the DVD in it. Also,
kind of.
and so the DVD was kind of cool to see. Also, just kind of the making of and all that. And it's just this is what really got us like into like Arion.
Yeah, for reals. And then here's 010 whatever.
01011001.
Yep. I remember that one being good though. It's been a while since I've spun it, but it has some good stuff. But it's definitely a step down from Human Equation for me.
Yeah.
You know. Alrighty, I think we're almost done with the A's. Because next is Arion, The Theory of Everything. I know this one has the new Camelot singer, the
Tommy Karavec. Yeah.
I know this has Tommy Karavec on vocals, or at least I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay, he's on here.
Russell Allen.
I haven't heard this one. I'm not sure. It's got Lacuna Coil.
Oh, that might have been the source.
Marco Hietala.
I think I'm thinking of
the source.
Yeah,
you might. Because James Labrie, Tommy Karavec,
also.
Tommy Rogers, Simone's,
Michael Erickson,
Tobias Sammet, Hansi Kirsch.
Yeah.
Russell Allen. Yeah.
Michael
Mills. Michael Erickson. Yep. Flor Janssen and Zahir Zorgati. A lot of good singers on this one. That's the source from Arion. So that's it for the A's. We said in the beginning of the video we're going to do A through C, but it's taken too long, so we're going to just do B and C. We're going to just keep on continuing.
There's a lot of A's actually, dang.
There was like half of them were A's, probably. Well, no, maybe not quite half, but it was a lot. Yeah. So
because if we kept going, honestly, this video would be more than 2 hours probably.
Yeah.
Like we were already about 55 minutes.
Yeah, at least we kind of know like how long it usually takes to get through this stuff, so that we know next time. Yeah, next time we know how much time we need.
And it's an interesting balance because we don't want to like rush things. But we also like
want to spend too much time.
We could just sit here and be like, dude,
remember that,
blah,
blah, blah.
You know, and like
look at the track
10
listings,
minutes.
look at freaking
And that's the problem is all of us are working stiffs and we all have different schedules. So we're doing these videos on the rare times that all three of us are off.
Right.
So
like Ian works in the mornings, Chad works afternoons, I work nights.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
what are you gonna do?
Yeah. But like I'm really glad you came up with the idea of just sharing the collection because people like to see like what you have and also also it shows like where we're coming from too because I really enjoy all of the review and analysis, but that's one album that we go like more so in depth. So we can go in deep, but then we also want to go wide and share like a bunch of these albums we're not going to do for the channel, but we can just
at least share them out.
Like, hey, check this out. You know. And that's the thing, like 99.9 whatever % is stuff that I enjoy. Like I don't have albums for bands that I don't enjoy, you know, Apocalyptica, but
that's poor guys.
No, poor guys. That's actually might be pretty good too. But like I can't think of a single album that I own that I'm like, oh, this is garbage.
Yeah, why did I buy this?
Yeah, exactly. Everything,
no buyer's remorse.
No, everything I at least enjoy at least somewhat, you know. So anyways, it's just fun sharing CDs and the collection with you guys, and yeah, we're just gonna keep on. We're gonna continue it.
Yeah, so. Next time we'll do the bees, you know, and it'll be nice to just run through the whole thing and support the artist and everything.
Yeah.
Keep listening to metal and everything else in between.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So.
Keep breathing.
Yeah. Drink your water. Take your vitamins.
Keep eating. Keep eating. Why not? Just do what you gotta do to live, man.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Bye.
Hi, we're back. We're gonna do my A's real quick. And first off, we have Abscess, Urine Junkies. It was some original members from Autopsy, so I ended up like checking it out. I only got one CD. I'm not sure how many they have, but you know, I have it, so there it is. Acid Bath, When the Kite Strings Pop. I was really getting into them a while ago, and I had both their CDs, but you know, stuff happens. And luckily Ian's like rebought a lot of stuff, so that's helped a lot. And then dude, Agoraphobic Nosebleed. I remember listening to these guys in high school. When I found a Relapse Records, I got so many bands off that, but Agoraphobic Nosebleed's Frozen Corpse Stuff with Dope. And then Amorphous, Silent Waters, which Ian recommended I should get when we were at a CD store. I haven't gone through it a ton, but there's that. Anathema, Judgment, my only Anathema CD so far, but I have to get more. Yeah, and then we got Arch Enemy. Whoops. Yeah, Black Earth. Jeez. I like Arch Enemy, I swear. We got Black Earth. I used to have all of them. I think I got these from Ian. Arch Enemy, Stigmata. And then we got, At the Gates.
Oh, The Red in the Sky.
The Red in the Sky is ours.
Wow. There's some albums, like, sometimes I'm like, man, what is this?
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, I need to listen to that more. And this one. And another At the Gates with Fear I Kiss the Burning Darkness. And then another At the Gates, Terminal Spirit Disease. And then we got some Atheist, Piece of Time.
Nice.
Yeah. When I first heard Atheist and like Death and all those, like I loved it.
You're blown away.
Then we got Atheist, Unquestionable Presence. Also, probably my favorite Atheist album. Then Atheist, Jupiter. I haven't listened to a ton, but I need to go through it just to give it another chance. And then Autopsy, dude. I loved Autopsy when I first got into them. Just some of that dirty, grimy death metal, dude. Just freaking give it to me. But there we go. A's for Chad. Not as much, not that many, but we'll go into it. Yeah, I've had a lot of them broke by my parents. A lot of CDs happen like that, and I was homeless sometimes, so a lot of my stuff would get stolen or lost. Yeah. And
you had some rare stuff too.
Yeah, it sucks. Like stuff from Razorback Records and stuff I ordered.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? So there's my A's. See you guys.
Yeah. Bye.